Fuck both of you. Welcome back to this thing, the ScreenWipe podcast. As always, we're your wonderful, wonderful, and awful hosts. Jacob Rowland, Ben Walker, and the other guy. Forgot his name.
Barry.
Barry Heaves. Yeah. Gary Heaves.
Hello. Hello, anyway, everyone. What's happening today, then, Ben?
Well, today is a special one.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Aren't they all special, though?
Well, I mean, more special than usual, because this will be our final episode for the year. Our first year we've been doing this. Maybe, hopefully, the first of many, many to come. 50 years from now, we'll still be doing this when we're all 60.
Episode 2680.
Today, we'll be talking about white pillowcases.
Because we ran out of ideas.
But we decided to do something special, because it's the end of the year. We're all winding down for Christmas, all that hoo-ha, the whole world works. We've seen movies this year, if I'm not mistaken, and so we're going to do a bit of a whole episode dedicated recap of the year, where we're going to go through all the movies that us three as a collective have seen, and we're going to...
As well as all the ones that we've seen individually.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Everything us three have seen,
sorry,
basically.
my bad. Yeah, all the films that the three of us have seen. Some of them Harry would have seen on his own, some of them maybe only Jacob and I would have seen, some of them it's just exclusive to one person, so some of us, all three of us seen, so we're just gonna go through them in chronological order from when they were released.
And how many are there, Ben?
Overall, I made a list. There are 65 films that us three.
That. Everyone's going to switch off now.
That it's going to be very disjointed.
There'll be if you're listening now, and you're just maybe interested in a couple movies, I'm going to leave timestamps for every film we talk about in the description. So just go have a look through, and if there are any you like, then click on that.
Yeah, we will leave timestamps, and if we don't, blame Harry.
There are quite a lot. Well, I don't know about quite a lot, but there are several we probably haven't seen.
That we wanted to.
Missed,
yeah, there's a lot for me. There's films that I really wanted to get to. The Favourite. I mean, that's not out yet here.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult where we live in the UK.
All three of us live in the UK, and the award films, they get released in festivals in late December for the US, but they come out early January and the end of December for the UK, so we tend to miss out on a lot.
Stuff like Suspiria as well.
Yeah,
it was
that was another one. I really wanted to see Suspiria, but UK cinemas suck. So
I really want to see what was it called? Is it the one with that has STEM in it? Harry, you wanted to see it as well.
I'm sorry? STEM?
Yeah, it had like STEM was like the thing on like his back. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, Upgrade.
Yeah.
I really want.
I don't think
that was
released here.
It was not for it was for a week at cinema.
Or something. Yeah. So that I think that's the only one I wanted to see that I've missed actually.
Okay.
Black Klansman. That was one that I didn't get.
You guys have kind of seen a lot of the ones that I wanted to see anyway. I don't tend to get to cinema too much.
I usually see because of me and Ben both have like those passes.
Yeah, but for different cinemas, so we go see movies just not together.
I'm able to see whatever I want to use.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to invest in one of those. I think it's a good.
Yeah, it's a good call. We'll all get one of the same, and then we can go see movies together.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that'll be just fun. Other movies you missed out. Mid-90s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Jonah Hill movie.
There are loads, aren't there?
The Bo Burnham movie, 8th Grade.
Oh,
that looked really good. I really wanted to see that.
I'm a huge fan of Bo Burnham stand-up. So.
I've never seen his stand-up, but I just thought the movie looked good. Apparently it was. So for me, it's a lot of the award seasons. So like my top 5 list, for example, right now probably wouldn't be the same. Later on, again, I can't speak for myself. I just really wanted to see The Favourite because it looks so good.
Yeah,
it comes out
Barry Lyndon.
Yeah, and I love Barry Lyndon.
And we should also note that some of these films on the list we have done as a topic on their own in a previous episode.
Venom and Bohemian Rhapsody primarily.
Yes, and we're still going to talk about them just in brief. And if you want a longer discussion, you can go and watch another episode.
Yeah, same with Mission Impossible actually as well.
Oh, and like Jurassic World 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are kind of the 4.
We've done more than I think I thought. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get started. We'll get started. Let's see what the first on the docket is, and it's one that only I have seen. Yes. You Were Never Really Here.
Right.
Which is technically it came out last year because it came out festivals and shit, but it got its first proper theatrical release in 2018, like in May or something, and I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was absolutely spectacular. It's a deconstruction of action tropes because it's got this like ex-veteran who's suicidal and he's got to defend this little girl from these evil guys, but it's done in a way that's really introspective and it's character study on this guy played beautifully by Joaquin Phoenix. He absolutely nails this role. I haven't seen Joaquin in a lot, and I want to see more of him because he was terrific in this. He was
directed by
Lynn Ramsey.
Okay.
The girl,
directed by Lynn Ramsey.
she directed The Swimmer, and I wasn't big on The
right.
Swimmer,
No.
but this is a full-on movie, and it was really good, and the ending blew me away.
So same director as We Need to Talk About Kevin, Ratcatcher, I think.
Yeah, it's on Amazon
Northern
Prime.
Fire.
I don't want to spoil it for Harry. You've expressed interest.
I've expressed interest. I didn't really know anything about it, but just hearing that synopsis, I think I'm convinced now. I think I'll probably
It's really like the ending. I don't want to spoil the ending because it took my breath away.
It's one of your top of the year, right?
Yeah, it's You Were Never Really Here, and it's free on Amazon Prime. So
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'll give it a watch then.
yeah,
I think I will too.
it's a very slow paced, like slow shots with no dialogue kind of movie. So it requires attention,
This sounds,
but it pays off.
this definitely sounds like my kind of.
So has it made you more
kind of scene.
excited for Joker then, do you think?
Yeah, I think because now that I've seen Joaquin Phoenix in a proper role, I mean, I think I've seen him before in like Gladiator, but that was years ago. But now that I've seen him in like a leading role, I'm more confident for Joker because he's such a good actor, and I want to see him in more.
He's great.
Yeah,
he really is. He has that kind of thing that certain actors have where they're just compelling.
Yeah,
like I don't know what it is about have this kind of gravity.
I think. I think with
okay.
You Were Never Really Here. I think, in terms of, I would have loved. I don't know if he can get like they can do awards because the movie technically came out last year, but it's I would love for him to get Best Actor for this because he deserves it. He's so like just.
It'd be nice for
brooding.
for an art housey piece.
Yeah.
to
Oh,
get
it was
that
really good.
recognition.
I highly recommend. I'll move on to the next one.
I mean, there's not really much more to say if Ben's only seen it. So.
Yeah, Jacob and I have both seen this.
Number 2,
Number 2 is The Commuter.
Right, I really like this.
You start off.
starring Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Yep. Directed by Jim Colette Serra. I can't pronounce that.
I can't either. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's a guy.
Something.
What else did you direct?
I really enjoyed this one actually.
You directed non-stop.
Do you want to give a sort of basic synopsis? Or
So basically,
Liam Neeson.
very briefly.
a guy. So Liam Neeson gets fired. Goes way home from work on a train, and he's all sad. And shit goes down. Basically,
Does the train get hijacked or something?
No,
I don't.
his family get hijacked.
So they're like, well, kind of. They're just like, oh, if you don't find this, like this woman is like, oh, I study people. If you don't find this person, then we're going to kill your family, and they have a special package or something like I don't know.
Right.
It was. I thought it was quite fun. I thought it started my year off fairly well.
It's an action movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It had some. I thought it had some fun action scenes. It was nothing particularly special, but it was good fun, and I had a good time with it, and I thought it was well made enough. It's maybe one of the better Liam Neeson ones I've seen.
It's free on Prime in the UK, so I am going to get into it.
That's how
definitely.
I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it at the cinema.
Yeah, I didn't bother with the cinema because I didn't notice it really.
Your thoughts on it, Ben?
You got anything else closing? What did you give it?
I gave it like a low 7.
Yeah.
I'd give it.
Okay.
But yeah,
So it's quite solid.
yeah,
and,
pretty solid. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I saw it on Amazon Prime out of a point of, it's another thing to add to my list of 2018 films. It's just another movie, and I can talk about it on the podcast if we do this recap thing, and that's fine. I didn't like it very much. I found it, like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. It was just
I think you gave
boring.
it 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it 5 out of 10 because it was just middling for me. It was just really just what you see is what you get kind of thing, and I just, again, I'm not, I can, like, as a film consumer, I can admit of my own kind of like personal biases. I'm not big on action much anymore. Like I just kind of Liam Neeson in a train hunting down someone like that. That sounds really boring to me. And in result, I found it quite boring.
And I still really like my action movies and things.
I liked the beginning.
So.
I did like the first 15 minutes of The Commuter and how it was edited.
It's really well shot.
Yeah,
actually,
I thought that was so good, and it really set me up. And I was like, oh, this might actually be good. Yeah. And then it just kind of felt really like. Didn't pay off.
I quite like the idea of an action thriller on a train.
Yeah, it was
like, sort of
Strangers on a Train.
It was like I think I probably do need to watch it again because I saw it in like January.
Yeah, that's fair.
But again, like from what I can remember, it was just kind of.
I mean, I watched it knowing that you had liked it, and I totally get why you do.
Yeah.
Because I understand like your film tastes, and I was just like, yeah, I can see why Jacob likes this, but.
And what's the?
I gave it, yeah.
The villain. What's the like? Well, not the villain. What's his? No, not the villain. I'm trying to think of her name. No. What's his best friend called?
I don't remember anything. I don't even remember.
No, isn't like the actor.
Oh,
he plays
the
Ocean Master as well.
Does he?
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. Yeah, I thought he was quite good. I like
Ocean
Patrick
Master.
Wilson.
All right.
Moving on, I guess.
Next up, number 3, we have. This is a Jacob exclusive one. Maze Runner: The Death Cure.
Oh, fuck that movie.
From Wes Ball, the visionary behind such films as The Maze Runner.
I would love to. I'm going to change. I gave it a 3, which is too high. Nothing is very like I thought the first 2 were fine, I guess.
Which are Maze Runner and
the Maze Runner and the Scorch Trials. This one was just shite. It was a definite step down. Like everything that happened was just resolved so quickly and by like the same thing, if that makes sense. So you'd have like you know, oh no, they're in trouble, something happened to save them. Oh no, they're in trouble, something saves them 2 minutes later. And that literally happened about 8 times within the film. Right. I didn't care about anything that was going on. It was quite dull. The action was badly done. The plot just wasn't great either. Yeah. It was like because I thought the first 2 were fine. Thought if the climax, I guess, you know,
is it the final one?
Yeah, okay. I was like, if that's fine as well, then we can just have a fine trilogy. But no, it ruined at the last time.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the films, but I have read all the books. I think he's written prequels now, but I've seen read those 3 books and that really inspired me to go and want to watch the film. But
it was just not good.
I've only seen the original Maze Runner, and I just thought it's in a world where a capitalist society has taken over. One young adult must rise up and overthrow the shackles of oppression, and I just that shit's happened so many more times.
They try to make you care by like killing some characters off.
Hunger Games wasn't good.
Really don't. This wasn't good. Hunger Games isn't good. Divergent isn't good. This isn't very good.
I'm glad that the young adult craze is kind of dying off a little bit now.
Yeah, the whole it's just
we're still
boring. They're all the same.
Star Wars.
I do. There is part of me that wants to watch this out of morbid curiosity, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
probably won't.
I think like give the trilogy a watch, and then just be like, well. That wasn't very good.
I quite like to just have seen things, so
it does
like good binge.
Like in the first one, like the main enemy was like these creeper things, like these weird scorpion things. And then the second one, there was like a big focus on the zombie creatures or whatever. I think they're called the Scourge or something like that.
Scourge.
And in this one, there was like nothing. Like, I know you have like the underlying. There's people who are nasty, but like when you've had threats like that. And you're like, oh, it's quite scary. There's zombies chasing them, whatever. And then you've got, oh no, there's a truck coming. Like, it was just a bit of shit.
Yeah.
So, number 4 on the docket, little list we've got, is a me exclusive. It's a Netflix film that I found. Actually, I saw it, our friend Sophie, who was on last episode. The Open House. Right. Directed by Susan Coate and Matt Angel. Both are first-time directors, and they should remain one-time directors, because this was terrible.
Is it Taylor Sheridan?
Yeah. No, it's Dylan Minute. Sorry. They look the same. They're all young dudes with big noses that look like Miles Teller.
Well, it's Ty Sheridan, not Taylor.
Oh, sorry.
And it was so boring. It was just... It's the second worst film I've seen this year. It was really...
Do you want to give a sort of plot overview?
I'll read the synopsis on Letterboxd.
Not a plot overview. Just tell us what the movie is.
It has a teenager and his mum who go to stay at this open house, and it's trying to be in this haunted house film, but there is nothing to be haunted by, and it's not like The Shining where it's ambiguous. It's like there is literally nothing. They aren't even going crazy. Like there is no threat to it, and it's just people walking around in rooms for like an hour and a half. It's dull. That's the best way I can describe it. It is boring. Like, I felt 94 minutes of just wasted time. It is... Like, I wouldn't even say watch it for a laugh, because it's not funny bad. It's just boring. It really is. And it's like... there is no threat in this film. It feels like it feels like they wrote the script and they were like, they forgot to put any kind of villain or any kind of antagonistic force. So it's not like you need a villain for every film. You can have an in-depth character drama, but this isn't that. This is like, it just...
So is it attempting to be a horror then? Or...
I think so.
Right.
I can't tell what it's trying... Yeah, it's genuine. I can't tell what it's trying to be. It's like a horror thriller thing, but it forgot to have something horror-related. That's all I can say, really. Next up, number 5. Is one that all three of us have seen.
So, excellent.
Yeah, Harry can talk now. Early Man.
Oh,
This was early on the list.
So this is Aardman's latest.
I think Harry probably has the most to say on this. Maybe Jacob. I don't have a lot.
This is the latest effort from Aardman, who obviously
the latest effort.
Yeah,
it's an effort
from of Wallace and Gromit fame, and
I love Wallace.
Shaun the Sheep, which I love too.
After Christmas.
Oh yeah, of course they did. Oh yeah, they
Flushed Away.
They did
Chicken Run.
They did some CGI animation recently. The premise is what even is it? Sort of a
some people get captured.
Doesn't
a caveman stumble in? Oh no, the Iron people knock down his forest.
Bronze, not
so
iron.
the Bronze people knock down the forest, and then
Doorbell.
he's just like, no, you can't do that. And then he's like, fuck you, I'm taking your land. And then he goes, play football against me. And then he does.
Yeah, it's about cavemen fighting people from the Bronze Age that are trying to take over their land, basically. And I was pretty looking forward to this. I managed to convince Jacob to come and see it with me.
You had to drag him kicking and screaming.
Yeah, I had to pay for this one as well.
I thought it was very, very disappointing. It's very emblematic of kids' movies at the minute and everything that I'm starting to really dislike about them, where it kind of just... there's no real nuance to any kind of humour. It's just kind of throwing stuff at you. The pacing's rubbish because it sacrifices any kind of narrative integrity for a couple jokes. Very disappointing, especially from Aardman,
who's a studio and like a house that I think all three of us respect deeply.
I think what they make is excellent.
Yeah, I genuinely think The Wrong Trousers is like a 5 out of 5 perfect animated film. Like we studied it in film studies, didn't we, Jacob?
We did. Good choice.
It just like when we were watching it, I just had the smile on my face constantly. I couldn't not love it.
Yeah, Wallace and Gromit's great because it has this real sort of darkness to it, underlying
but it doesn't,
a really sweet story. But it never caves to it. It's quite playful with it.
Also, Feathers McGraw is the perfect villain, better than Thanos.
Also, the plot makes sense. And I don't know.
Well, I think I said I feel like I wrote this movie because it's like
Early Man, not Wallace.
Giant duck shows up,
There's a plot device that's used for a joke where a giant flying mallard just sort of
with teeth.
With teeth.
He's got teeth. I think
the lol so random. Look, we're in prehistoric times. Look how much we're riffing on it. Just was not done.
Effectively?
Not done effectively. I did like when they finally, slight spoilers, but not really, when they finally play football and do the match.
Soccer.
No. Football.
Soccer.
It's relatively entertaining. I think Rob Brydon voices the commentators.
Yeah, that got a chuckle out of me.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of him. So, but yeah, by and large, just a pretty poor.
I think
attempt at making a fun kids film. It's a shame because Nick Park actually directed it as well, and Sophie was saying she watched a documentary before they made it where he's so excited about making it, which is a shame. But yeah, I didn't think it was very good.
Grand Day In, that's the documentary. It's on Netflix. I highly recommend it to any Aardman fan.
I will watch it.
It's really good. I seen Early Man. And I think out of all the three of us, I probably liked it the most. I didn't. So. I think we all gave it the same kind of 2.5 out of 5.
I gave it 2.
You gave it 2.
I gave it 4 out of 7.
I gave it 2.5.
Yeah, but I just it just had that Aardman charm to it, and it's just kind of appealing to see someone who's actually doing stop motion in today's day and age.
The animation was pretty good.
Yeah,
across the board,
I still argue it's better than anything Illumination's done. I hate Illumination.
like Early Man starts, and it's these dinosaurs fighting in this lava thing, and it's like, or the Cretaceous period, and then it says Manchester around lunchtime. And I thought that was quite funny. I was like, okay, I know what kind of thing this is, and then it just doesn't do that kind of it doesn't do that kind of humour well after that, really. Unfortunately,
I like Mr. Rock. I thought he was the most compelling character.
Oh my god, that is such a meme. Honestly.
Mr. Rock.
Shout out to Will. Mr. Rock is the ultimate. I was like, who would win Godzilla?
Or Mr. Rock.
Mr. Rock with a vibranium core.
I just think Mr. Rock in general would win. Godzilla would step on him and get a stubbed toe. So
he'd break his foot.
Yeah.
And then
Godzilla dies.
I'm pretty sure that
bad
Mr. Rock can teleport as well, because he like beams into the
rabbit hits
forest. Yeah, he was the most useful in the tribe.
Mr. Rock's the MVP of the tribe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had the space stone inside.
Also, Maisie Williams. Her voice acting is horrendous.
Yeah,
I love Game of Thrones.
I kid, man.
Yeah, it was noticeably bad. Actually.
I love Game of Thrones, and despite her characterization in the later seasons being piss poor, Maisie Williams as an actress, she's really good. She can, in terms of Game of Thrones, which has all these different actors of all creeds and like caliber.
And the creed and the colour.
Okay, you have there's these scenes where she's going up against veteran actors like Charles Dance, and she's holding her own against them, and they've got such good chemistry, and she's a really good, talented young performer. And in this, stick to the when we can see your face, Maisie, because when it's just your voice, you have no idea of what accent you're doing.
Moving on.
Number 6. Another one that all three of us have seen. The Black Panther.
Oh god, I forgot that came out this year.
Bombay.
Yeah,
First of the 3 Marvel films have come out.
Well, MCU ones.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my god, yeah, and plus some other ones. I like it the most.
That's fair.
I really like it. The last 10 minutes are kind of insulting, but David Ehrlich said it really well when he said it's the only Marvel movie that actually kind of feels a little bit like it takes place in the real world.
What about Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier still has Chris Evans jumping around throwing shields at
Yeah, but this one has a guy running around in an indestructible suit blowing.
Actually, yeah,
people like
you got a good point there.
And giant rhinos running around with armour on.
I think it's more to do with the thematic depth of the film and how it's grounded in real world politics.
The Winter Soldier is a spy thriller, and it still is a power fantasy for me. What I mean by Black Panther feeling real is the political aspect to it. This country that isn't sharing their resources and that kind of struggle, I found quite interesting, and I found the sequence of events relatively compelling, kind of playful. And as I say, it kind of falls apart when they summon the war rhinos, and then Killmonger and Black Panther fight, and they look like rubber smashing into one another. But no, I would say it's probably up there with my favourite. I'm not a Marvel person, but I thought it was for the most part a sort of breath of fresh air. I don't think it's great or anything, and I certainly don't think it's anywhere near as good, as a lot of people seem to be.
Yeah.
Praising it as.
I messed that up. Right.
I think I kind of reciprocate kind of what Harry says. I do find a lot of the socio-political themes and backbone of the film to be very compelling. I think Killmonger's a very good villain. I felt like Michael B. Jordan did him very well, and if he were to get nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which is kind of in the cinephile rumour mill at this rate.
Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, as Best Supporting Actor. I wouldn't oppose to that, to be honest.
No.
He was better in Creed too.
I mean, that's fair.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
I see, even in Fantastic, everyone sucked in that movie, but Michael B. Jordan looked like he didn't want to kill himself. So, I thought Andy Serkis was good in Black Panther. He was just so charming, and great and stuff. There's not much I can say that Harry hasn't already said. Yeah.
It's fine. I think movie-wise, I'm probably the biggest superhero movie fan.
Yeah, definitely.
But I didn't really like it very much. I thought it was fine, but I thought that the action was all pretty poor. I didn't find it that interesting. I thought as a character, Black Panther was much better in Civil War.
I agree, actually, yeah.
I thought that his suit design was definitely a downgrade from Civil War as well. I didn't find the villain that interesting, to be honest. I thought, I don't know, everyone's like, oh, but he's relatable. And I'm like, but how is he relatable? I know I don't really think he is.
I don't
it's fine.
So I don't think he's relatable per se. I think he's more understandable. Like someone who he's like the idea about him is to see how kind of upbringing can bring about just this extremist view about the world and various races.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an apolitical conflict, which was really the
They shouldn't have killed Claw.
I liked him.
They shouldn't have killed Claw. Claw was better.
Okay, well, yeah. Now another one. I think only Harry and I have seen this. The Cloverfield Paradox. Woo!
We've
actually talked about this.
We'll keep this brief.
Yeah.
It's not very good. It's
really bad.
It's lit like a porno. It's acted really poorly.
Like a porno. It's a porno with everything other than porn. Like
the narrative is deeply convoluted and confused. And
like a porno.
When you hear someone say, this film doesn't make any sense, and you think, okay, well, watch the Cloverfield Paradox, because truly
it doesn't make any sense.
It's baffling how this was written a little bit. Just not, and the way it, where it sits in the Cloverfield kind of
the Cloverfield franchise is terrible.
Where it sits in the Cloverfield universe is very odd, very odd. It raises so many questions, but it's just not good. It's not on a technical level. I think mostly it's quite insulting.
Daniel Bruhl, who I like, isn't good in this.
Who's that?
Zemo.
Right, yeah.
I like him a lot as well.
He's right.
He's very good in Goodbye Lenin and stuff.
Yeah, and Chris O'Dowd is in Cloverfield Paradox.
What are you talking about, Harm?
I'm disabled from the IT crowd, which he's great in. It's a shame. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think we need to say much.
It's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah. Next up is a Harry exclusive. Peter Rabbit.
Which number is this?
Number 8.
Number 8.
Peter Rabbit.
Oh God, I watched this a while. Why did I watch this? This is when I went to America, and it was on American Netflix, and I watched it with
family.
Yeah. It's not as bad as I think I thought it was going to be. When I heard a James Corden CGI rabbit movie, Peter Rabbit movie, I thought, really? It's okay. I'm trying to think what's good about it, but I can't quite think about it. The worst part is James Corden as Peter Rabbit, who I just wanted to kick anytime he opened his bloody mouth. I just shut up. He's so annoying. He delivers everything in the same timbre. It's all this sort of high strung. It's like not quite high pitch. It's like, I'm James Corden. Hi. I only have one amount of energy for everything I deliver. I'm Peter Rabbit. Shut up.
I hate James Corden. I can't stand him as a comedian, as an actor. He is not funny. He is...
Welcome to the James Corden Slating Podcast.
As a film, there's some kind of fun sort of, I don't want to say action bits, but when they're kind of ganging up on
hand-to-hand combat
on the villain, it's a little fun, I suppose. And Donald Gleason's character I quite liked as just this silly caricature.
It's like Alvin and the Chipmunks without Alvin or the Chipmunks.
I don't know. If you're above the age of 12, I probably wouldn't recommend it, because there's probably not that much you'll find, in it. To be honest,
to all our 12-year-old viewers out there, you guys will love this.
Right.
Next up is a me exclusive, number 9. It's a special one. I found this, a little background context.
You're the only one you've seen.
Yeah, I'm the only one who's seen this film. I found it on Amazon Prime when looking at movies that came out this year.
Oh, I know what this is.
And I'm proud. To an extent, I think I'm proud of finding this, because I hadn't seen anyone talk about it, no YouTubers, despite the fact this works for stuff like I Hate Cheese, The Search for the Worst series, or I think Your Movie Sucks would have loved this, but it's a little film that goes by the name of Status Update. And holy shit, it's something. It's like Click, but worse.
Sorry, Adam Sandler.
So it's a teen comedy, which inherently means it's dog shit, because it's a teen comedy that isn't Mean Girls. And it has the main character, who is a beautiful blonde boy that gets bullied for no reason. He has an app, and whenever he posts something, it comes true.
Oh,
so
no.
he posts I got a big dick. He posts oh, my dad and my car arrived. And then the next day, his dad shows up again with a new car. And it's how did this get made? It came out this year.
I'd love to have that boy's superpower.
This seems
I'm not depressed anymore.
Just, oh no! This movie, it should have come out in 2010.
But never.
I highly recommend it to anyone. It is so bad. It's the worst film I've seen this year. Half a star. Abysmal. But it's fucking funny.
Alright, next up.
And there's musical numbers. It's a musical.
Yes.
Okay, next up, number 10. Something Harry and I have seen.
Oh.
Annihilation.
Oh.
Netflix exclusive.
Oh, it's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
It's a
very
good one. It's a good one.
Yes, it's
One of my favourites this year.
So,
Sci-fi.
it's about Natalie Portman, who's a sort of biology professor. One day, the Shimmer appears, which is sort of this
The Shimmer.
alien zone that keeps expanding, and they don't know what the hell it is. And so they send teams in, none of them come back. So Natalie Portman goes in
With a group of scientists.
with a new team,
All female,
to have a look. And that's all I want to say about the plot.
Isn't there a bear in it or something?
Yeah, there's a bear.
It is for me. I know interpretations have differed. For me, it's a wonderful. As someone who loves kind of themes of alien communication, my favorite book is Solaris. This was a really wonderful exercise in really interesting sci-fi ideas.
It's very it's very much a thinking man sci-fi. You go in and there isn't laser guns and aliens.
Yeah.
It's about things.
And the alien is very alien, and you don't really understand. And I liked how themes of communication, as well as themes of kind of self-destruction and stuff, and that's to be my little rundown.
Yeah, the ending. I think Ben agrees. I got to agree with him. The ending, I thought, you didn't mention that. Last 15 minutes, some of the best filmmaking I've seen this year. I loved it. The effects were a bit patchy, but hasn't got the biggest budget. But I just thought like the kind of
thematic level.
On a thematic level, the ending blew me away.
Very good movie.
Yeah,
and it's on Netflix, free everywhere. So
yeah, I'd recommend.
Netflix isn't free.
4 out of 5. Kind of that's for me.
Yeah, 3.5, 4 or something.
Yeah. Next up is a me exclusive. Number 11. Isle of Dogs. Great one.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah, Wes Anderson. Second best after Grand Budapest for me.
This year? Or just
second best Wes Anderson film.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I loved it. I thought it worked so well. I thought it was better than Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I love Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think it's terrific. The cast is terrific. The kind of the setting, obviously, it looks beautiful.
I would expect no less from Wes Anderson.
Yeah, and it complements it so well. And I can't think of very much to say that I didn't like about it.
This is another one I definitely will get round to at some point.
It is worth it.
I feel like I need to be in the right mood for it.
Yeah,
so I will do that eventually.
It's good. It's really good. 4.5 out of 5.
And what number does it rank for you?
It's in my top 10. I don't think it's in my top 5 yet.
Okay.
Anymore. For a long time, it was my film of the year.
Yeah.
And then
it was quite fun watching it. Yeah. Watching you sort of find better things.
It's quite fun watching you.
No, it's cool.
Next one, another me exclusive. Number 12, I think. Number 12 is Unsane from Steven Soderbergh.
Oh,
is that with
what?
Just before we get into it, I love Steven Soderbergh, and I really want to.
This was the first Soderbergh,
and I'm really curious to hear you talk about it. Actually.
I liked it a lot. I thought it's all shot on an iPhone, and it's very interesting in its cinematography, almost Kubrickian. Almost. It's not quite there, but it's a film about a woman who's put into a mental institution involuntarily because of a whole kind of insurance scheme, and she's kind of being stalked by a stalker who she had gotten a restraining order and left, and the stalker's working for the institution, and it's a real good exploration into kind of insanity almost, and
it's a psychological thriller.
Yeah, it's really good. I enjoyed it. I think how it's shot is wonderful. I wasn't big on the ending bit per se, but I just thought the whole ride through it was just really good.
Yeah, I'm going to be saying this a lot, but this is another one I really want to.
3.5 out of 5 for me.
Excellent.
I'd recommend. Number 13 is me and Harry Game Night.
Oh yes,
I'll let you talk for most of this because I've covered a lot.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I watched this on a plane actually.
Really? I saw it in cinemas.
Harry on a plane.
I think it ran out of steam fairly quickly, unfortunately. It was really quite funny in the first 20 minutes when they're starting the game night and they're trying to avoid the neighbour, and they edit it like a horror movie, like he stood there.
Yeah,
that's really fun. And the bit when they're trying to get the bullet out of Jason Bateman, that was really funny. But yeah, it's basically about a bunch of friends who have a game night
as a kind of a weekly ritual thing.
Yeah, starring Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, and Jason Bateman's character's brother joins them for a game night, and basically it's kind of turns out to be real that he gets kidnapped, but they think it's sort of part of the game. So
is that the guy from King Kong and stuff?
I think he might be.
Yes.
He's in Godzilla King of Monsters.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, he is.
yeah. But yeah, I thought it was fairly funny. It was never bad. It was never great though. I don't think.
Yeah.
It had the potential to be great, unfortunately. But I enjoyed my time with it. I
Yeah.
did.
Again, I gotta agree. It's a fun comedy. It is what it is.
Yeah.
3 out of 5.
I think same for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it just it never lost steam. While at the same time, it never really had any steam to begin with. So it just kind of it lived in its own little bubble, and it worked.
Cool.
I think, yeah. What is it? Number 14? Yep. Jacob and I have seen this. Tomb Raider.
Fucking. No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't great either, to be fair.
It's a video game movie, so what do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, like, my main complaint is that, like, not really much tomb raiding happened. She wasn't really Tomb Raider. She was just a girl, they got stranded on an island and got kind of beaten up a lot. It was fine. It was shot okay. The effects were okay. The acting was okay. It was all just okay.
Yeah, I think you gave it 5 out of 10.
Yeah, because it's just middle. It's just fine.
I found it boring.
The best bit was probably like that bicycle chase, which doesn't say much, does it?
Yeah. I found it boring.
Yeah.
It was a video game movie, and it's getting the best part about video games being the interactivity and the gameplay and getting rid of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
not much more.
4 out of 5. That's
4 out of 5.
I mean, no, sorry, 4 out of 10. Sorry, 2 out of 5.
8 out of 10. Great movie. Bada bing, bada boom.
Okay, number 15. Yeah, number 15. Jacob and I have seen this again. A Quiet Place.
Yes, boys.
Yep, we'll let you take the reins.
lead
We'll
this.
let you take the reins for this.
I haven't seen it.
How about I start real quick? Thought it was terrific. I think Jacob's going to say everything I thought. Absolutely loved it. 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
was really good.
I really love this one. I give it 10 out of 10.
Oh, look at you.
It is. It's in my top 10 favourite movies of all time.
Yeah, it was good.
I really like it. It's my favourite horror. It was really, really interesting to see a different take on John Krasinski. Because I'm just familiar with him from The Office. But I thought,
great actor.
I thought it was really.
He's in Shrek the Third. He plays Lancelot.
Wow.
I thought it was really brilliantly done. Actually, it wasn't so much scary, but like in like the cinema when everything is silent, it was so intense.
Yeah, it's tense. It just has this atmosphere to it.
And like for the constant runtime, and the runtime wasn't very long, but it felt like a long time because you're like,
but not in the bad way.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it was like poorly paced. It felt like you were there with them. It was really
it
atmospheric.
was brilliantly paced. It was an emotional film.
Krasinski and Blunt, they just
They were a couple in real life.
and the kid actors, even
They were brilliant.
They
as well.
worked as a family.
Yeah. And the creature designs were awesome as well. There's nothing about like I couldn't flaw this movie if that makes sense. Like
There's nothing inherently that you could.
no, I mean obviously like I could pick things out.
Yeah, there
but-
are. I've heard some criticisms toward A Quiet Place that people saying, "Oh, this doesn't make sense."
The
But again,
waterfall. I've heard.
yeah, again, it's very. I wouldn't say nitpicky, but it's very like plot holey, as in it's just minor things that like don't service the film as a whole.
Yeah, and it doesn't
like,
affect the film really. Like if they
in
lived
terms
by
of-
the waterfall and they didn't have to make like no noise, then there wouldn't be a film.
Well, I was more talking about like why is there a nail just sticking up? Like it's more like what people consider plot contrivances. I disagree with I kind of agree with the statement that with plot holes, it's like it doesn't matter as long as they're in service to the movie. I agree with Hitchcock as in like the whole why don't people go to the cops and thriller movies because that's boring. It needs to service the film as a whole. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, no, I thought it was great. Even the soundtrack was good, and for a film called A Quiet Place, it utilised that brilliantly.
Yeah, you've played the soundtrack when we've been hanging out a few times, and I was quite impressed. Another one that I will get round to.
It's good. I recommend you watch it in the dark by yourself. Like, I mean, you could watch it with other people. Just make sure they won't talk.
I can lend it.
I think I'll probably watch it with my dad. I think he'd like it.
Yeah, it's a very midnight watch movie. Next one, I think all three of us have seen this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ready Player One.
Good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I'll go first.
Yeah, you go
You
first.
like it the most.
I really, really enjoyed it. Gave it a solid 7. I thought that it was really cool and a really cool premise. I know a lot of it didn't make sense, but it didn't really bother me too much, to be honest, because I was just trying to have fun. I switched my brain off for a little bit and watch people blow each other up. and stupid action scenes.
That sounds like some kind of niche fetish.
Yeah, like nothing, like a lot of stuff that didn't make sense, but I don't really care. I was just enjoying watching Mechagodzilla punch the Iron Giant in the face.
Yeah.
Poor Iron Giant.
And I enjoyed the film, to be honest. I thought it was fun.
I thought
The effects were really cool.
Yeah. I thought it was okay. I was never incredibly compelled, but I was never very bored. It was fine. Oh my god, no, that was. I have read the book. I read the book before I saw it.
Sorry.
And there are some interesting comparisons because it actually manages, not that it's hard, but it makes more sense than the book, which was nice. There weren't as many gaping plot holes as the book has because, Jesus Christ, there are loads with the world building. But at the same time, it did do away with a lot of groundwork in the book that I think would have served the film well. There are a couple of set pieces and story beats that I think were quite... that I was reading the book thinking, oh, this will be cool on screen. They kind of did away with them, unfortunately. But generally, I thought the film was fine.
Would you rate
fine.
10?
6, I think, out of 10. I definitely enjoyed it more than I didn't, but I don't think it's anything that special.
I didn't like it at all.
Yeah,
I think it is so far, out of what I've seen of his work, I think it's Spielberg's worst film. I do not like the kind of referential, not humour, but the referential style of it. Oh, look, it's Superman. Oh, look, it's Minecraft. Oh, look, it's this thing. Wow, it doesn't really lend well to that. And I've heard the book does it far worse because the book is not visual. It's written, so it just points out, like, oh, it's Ghostbuster symbol.
The book isn't terrible about it, but it does do that.
Yeah, I found the main character to be immensely unlikable. Like he was, yeah. Well, but I also found at the end the film it was supposed to be the celebration of pop culture and nerd culture as an extension, and then the final message essentially bogged down to, oh, I'm shutting it off for 2 days because you nerds need to get laid. Like it kind of loses steam, and I feel like it's pop culture referencing, but it's not pop culture loving. It didn't feel Godzilla. Jacob's just holding a Godzilla figure that I've got on my thing for some reason.
His feet are like mine; they're giant.
But I didn't like it. That Shining scene, I hated. I hated the Shining scene because it loses what makes the Shining special. Yeah, I can't. I could go in more in depth, but I just don't care enough. Like,
we don't have time.
Yeah. Next up is movie number 17. I've lost count at this rate. 17.
I think so.
Pacific Rim Uprising.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, Pacifica Rim.
Can we not say much about it? Sucks.
It looks like a TV movie.
It's like
there was some good bits.
The worst character building I have seen in any movie ever.
It's a $150 million sci-fi movie, and I think that sums it up quite nicely, to be honest.
I like the bit where the robots fought.
Okay.
Done!
It's not even done like the original Del Toro. One of the worst films I've seen this year.
Also, it looks like Spy Kids, the sci-fi. I'm sorry, CGI looks like.
The monster designs were awful as well in this one.
Yes, terrible. Oh my god, they look
so
stupid.
Numberino, fucking.
Would it be 18 now?
Yeah, no, 16.
What?
No, you just said 17.
So it's 18
Did I?
now.
Okay, no, it's actually 16. No, I've lost count.
No one cares.
Just count from
Rampage.
1, 4, 6.
Rampage.
Rampage. Am I the only one who's seen this?
No, I've seen it as well.
Again, it's quite like Pacific Rim in that it's fine. The effects and the fights are kind of cool, but the film isn't very good.
It's another video game movie. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I agree. It's
better than Tomb Raider.
I disagree. I think Tomb Raider was better.
Oh, I thought it was more fun.
I think The Rock, despite the fact I think he's not a terrible star, I thought he was just so like
he
by
kind of
the
reminds
mills,
me of me.
factory delivered in this one. White King Kong was annoying. It was just dumb. I didn't care.
His name is
Number 19.
Right, now we're talking about the biggest film of the year, probably.
Yeah.
Something that's really defined this current generation of movies as a
Jacob's
whole.
looking very happy right now.
It's really changed landscape of pop culture, and well, of course I'm talking about Batman Ninja. Just kidding. No, I'm talking about Avengers Infinity War. It was this small little indie art house film that I don't think many people saw. Look at me, I'm funny.
No. Can I get my opinion out of the way first?
Yeah.
It was...
You're not a Marvel guy.
No, I'm not. I liked the first half an hour. It was really fun. And then I think it got a bit too brooding and for me. I thought it was pretty dull. I won't lie to you. Unfortunately, I really wanted to go in and think it was the best Marvel film, but unfortunately, I didn't. And I will watch it again because I'm willing to accept that
I think I'm quite open-minded about things. I'm willing to accept that maybe I'm wrong about it. But yeah, that was my experience with it. I don't mind it. I don't think it's bad at all. And
I'm just indifferent about it.
I think it would be better on a second watch because they spend a lot of time building this kind of foreboding kind of tone and atmosphere. So now that I know how it ends, very, very, anticlimactic, in a sense. I think the tone will resonate with me a bit more because I know that there will be consequences.
Yeah.
So I will be curious to see it again. But yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you want to go first or should I?
I can, I suppose. Really, really, really enjoyed this one. Again, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I thought it was really, really great. I love superhero movies, so that helps a lot. And I just love comics as well. I thought it was great fun. I thought the action was awesome. I thought that the storyline and the tone were also quite good, to be honest. I thought the pacing was well done. I thought that all of the characters the characters that you wanted to see, you saw, if that makes sense. Like, I know Black Widow didn't get much screen time or whatever, but she didn't need it, because Black Widow. Thanos was very well done. Thought Josh Brolin did a really great performance of him. The thing is,
I do agree.
I don't think I have much more to say than anyone else has said, but I gave it a 10 out of 10.
I think as
liked it.
Almost a social thing and a
Event.
thing that an event. It really feels like this film wouldn't have worked if it didn't have the 10 years of build up, and I respect it on that level, as in they've done what no one else could have done before.
Definitely, I think it deserves a lot of respect for what they accomplished.
And I think it works. It feels like a good payoff. And part of me's kind of disappointed that it's not the end, because obviously spoilers. But by this rate, anyone who cared has already seen it on opening night. The whole ending, I loved it. I thought that just the kind of anticlimactic way of you don't get to win because Thanos. I felt like it worked. And I love Thanos as a villain in this. I think I prefer this version to Thanos to even the comic book one. He is probably my favourite movie villain, movie comic book villain.
I definitely have touched on this in a previous episode. I can't remember where, but I'm not super keen on Thanos as a villain. I think it's just they weren't really sure. It was a bit conflicted for me, but yeah.
I thought it was cool.
I think it works, especially in this film, because it feels like he's not the villain. Again, this has been done to death, but it's his movie. He is the cornerstone.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I also think he works very well in terms of paralleling to Iron Man.
Yeah. Awesome.
We could go way more in depth with this film.
Yeah, and we probably will.
Maybe when
Endgame.
When Endgame comes out, we could do a whole episode on that and then talk more about this one.
Jacob's looking quite keen.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'll have to talk about this.
we'll leave it for there. 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. 2.5 out of 5.
I don't know. Don't really want to put a number on it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, now the real movie of the year, Batman Ninja.
No, I have nothing to say.
Have all three of us seen it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's rubbish.
It's funny.
The guy that wrote it also wrote Gurren Lagann, which is one of my favourite TV shows, and the way that satirises anime cliches and uses it to make the show really heartwarming is really admirable. The way that Batman Ninja uses anime cliches is frankly insulting. The narrative is terrible and contrived and poorly paced and convoluted. The characters are dreadfully handled. The animation isn't even super great either. They do the weird 3D anime stuff that's sort of a trend now, which I'm not very keen on.
Okay.
It is on Netflix if you're curious. Some people really like it, but I certainly was not keen at all. Although it was quite funny toward the end.
Harry and I are in this group chat, and we've kind of been shit posting about Batman Ninja a lot because it is a joke. It's a very dumb movie, and it's kind of disappointing because you pointed this out to me, how you could draw parallels between the modern day fictional crime wars of Gotham and feudal Japan. But they don't do that. It revolves into a fucking mech battle.
Yeah, the fact that these Gotham criminals have no control and suddenly they're in a feudal society where they can gain control simply by being brutal, that's an interesting dynamic, I think. But
they don't lean into that at all. No. I thought two out of every character's design was cool. I like Nightwing; he looked cool.
Outside of that, it's not even fun. It's just not fun.
Yeah, it's really nothing.
Anyway,
moving on.
Moving on, number 21, Deadpool 2.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, Jacob and I have seen it.
I thought Solo came out first.
Nope, Deadpool 2 did apparently. They came out around the same time or something. Deadpool 2, what do you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was better than the first one. I don't know, better. Well, it was for me anyway. It was more fun. Juggernaut was kind of cool. Colossus is like my favourite character in the Deadpool movies, and they handled him very well in this one and made him cool. That cool is a word I use a lot for films, but it's true.
That's pretty cool.
The soundtrack was quite fun, I guess. The extended cut was definitely better, but I don't get why that wasn't in the movie, because like the opening sequence, like it looks like they've missed out some cuts,
Right.
which they did because it's in the these extended.
That's pretty weird.
They put it in. But yeah, good. It was good fun overall.
Yeah, I think it's just a fun superhero movie. I think it was better than the first one. There is nothing much I can say on it. It exists.
I wasn't enormously keen on the first one, but I do quite want to see this one. It looks like a good sequel. It looks like it expands upon things in an appropriate way. So I'll get around to it.
I still think Ryan Reynolds was terrific casting. As the
I
fun
think he's
Deadpool.
very good, isn't he?
He's always great.
He's great. He really loves the character, and it shows.
Mississippi Grind. Underrated performance.
Off we go.
Anyway,
Moving on.
Next movie, number 22, Solo: A Star Wars Story.
I've seen
We've
it.
all three of us have seen it.
It's fine. That's all I have to say.
I think it's the best, most like, it's wonderfully pointless in the sense that it's probably the best it could have been, despite the fact what it is just utterly pointless. No, it's just again, it doesn't need to exist, but it does for some reason.
I have, since we recorded the Star Wars episode, I have become I have realised that I am a pretty big fan of Star Wars, specifically the original trilogy. I'm not elitist about it to an extent, but
prequel stuff.
Yes, they do. Terrible.
I like the third one.
I do not. But anyway, Solo's quite cool because it's that kind of gunmetal, kind of underbelly, bounty hunter-y kind of side of Star Wars that I quite like, and I think they do it fairly well. The movie's a bit visually dark, but the first 10 minutes are lame, and then the following kind of hour, I had like a lot of fun with, and then after that, when they get to the bit with the pirates and there's that twist, the film totally forgets why it's fun, and falls flat on its face. Unfortunately,
don't ask for things twice.
Yeah. But I had a lot of fun with most of it. I think I thought it was fine.
How do you pronounce his name? Alden Einrich.
Aldenreich, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked him actually. He wasn't Han Solo, but he did an okay job.
I didn't like Ron Howard's directing.
Yeah,
Again,
but
I don't think Ron Howard's a great director. I really just think he's kind of like, he's not an auteur. He's kind of the opposite. You can't tell when he's directed a movie because it's just like,
Moving on, I think.
yeah, it's fine. Number 23 is a me exclusive. I don't know if you two even know this movie exists. Godzilla: City on the Edge of Battle.
I do know this one.
It is the second movie in the Godzilla anime trilogy, which the first one came out Monster Planet last year, and it's a it's a different take on the Godzilla because it's all animated and it's a post-apocalyptic Earth. And this one was really dumb and stupid, and Mechagodzilla was a city for some reason, and it was dumb. I didn't like it at all. It was so just fine. Like, I don't know. I can't say much about it because there's nothing to say.
Yeah.
It just, I've kind of lost. I was excited for this animated Godzilla trilogy, and now I don't care. Okay, number 24. We've talked about it already. All three of us have seen it. Jurassic World.
We don't really need to talk on this. We did it as a topic.
Watch our episode.
I think it's fun.
Whatever. Yeah. Number 25 is a Jacob exclusive. Tag.
Tag is not very good. The Jeremy Renner bits are fun. That's all I have to say.
Is that really it?
That's literally, well, yeah. I mean, there's abortion and miscarriage jokes which aren't funny, and they're just that's it.
Okay, this is a me and Jacob one. 26, Incredibles 2.
Yeah, great, good film.
Not as good as the first one.
No,
but still
very hard to beat though, isn't it?
Yeah, first one's one of the best animated films of all time. Fight me on that. But this one was just fine, really. Again,
I'm really curious about this. I'd quite like to see it.
Yeah.
It looked quite fun. I like the first one. So.
I believe this one is a Harry exclusive. Number 29 is Tao.
Tao. Oh God, Tao.
T-A-U.
Yeah, it was a Netflix original about a woman that gets in the future gets captured, taken to a house where she's imprisoned by a tech mogul that's developing an AI. The AI is present in the house, and she tries to win over the AI to escape. Basically, and the AI is called Tao, voiced by Gary Oldman.
Really?
It's pretty rubbish. Don't watch it because it's just not. It's just not. You know, it's just it's very vapid. Very when it tries to poke at bigger themes, it falls very hard on its face.
Face.
Gary Oldman's fine, and who plays the villain in Deadpool?
We know
that guy. He's the villain. It's kind of like 50 Shades of Grey almost with those two, with the two leads. It's just kind of crap, to be honest. Unfortunately, I'm not even sure why I watched it.
Yeah, I think this one.
I think I chose it over Baby Driver, actually. Oh no!
I think the next one is a me exclusive. 27 is Calibre. Have you?
Straight to Netflix.
Yeah, straight to Netflix. It was good, but I didn't care for it. It was about a bunch of dudes in a forest, and there's like a murder mystery. Well, they kill somebody, and then this whole town is like trying to figure out who killed him, and it's kind of suspenseful, very atmospheric. I don't think I was in the right mood to watch it. I watched it out of a place of another movie to add to the list. Yeah, I didn't care for it.
Okay.
Yeah, number 28 is Jacob's favourite film of the year, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Fuck them.
Jacob and I have seen this.
Nah, it's not that bad. It's just not that great either. It's fine. I think it's my least favourite MCU film.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's boring.
Just very nothingy.
It exists.
Boring, and
That's all I can say.
It didn't need to be there. If they just,
Its greatest strength is that it exists.
If they just released Black Panther and Infinity War, that would have been fine.
Would have been a good year.
Yeah.
But this it was so underwhelming after Infinity War. This should have come out before Infinity War.
Or just not come out. Very good.
Oh shit. Next one is, I believe it's sorry. The next one is if I'm not mistaken, I think it's all three of us have seen The Death of Superman, a DC animated film.
Wasn't the one before that?
Yeah, no, just keep talking about.
Oh yeah, that's Superman.
Yeah.
You go.
Okay.
I'll go first because you. It was quite solid. It was a bit too short.
Number 30.
It could have done with being a little bit longer, a little bit more expansive, and I thought the animation suffered a little bit, maybe because of budget. But it really understands Superman as a character. I was really involved with his character, and I honestly I think the action is some of the best I've seen. The choreography of Doomsday and how he fights is so interesting to his character. I really, I thought it was pretty good.
Superman is my favourite fictional character. I adore it. And I thought, again, they handled it very, very well. They clearly understood what they were doing.
Definitely.
And with all of the Justice League and Doomsday, I agree with everything Harry said. I thought there was some really cool shots at the end fight as well. There was one specific bit where he smashes Doomsday with the pole and slows down. The animation just looks so good for a few. I don't know. I thought it was really good and really fun. And it's one of the DC animated movies that I consistently rewatch.
I think Lois Lane was the best character in this movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
I liked it. I liked the whole her and Clark's relationship. I really wish the film expanded on it. I think I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. And I was a bit okay, I'm not going to like this very much. But I came out going, oh shit, this movie was good. But yeah, it was good. Next up, me and Harry. Flavors of Youth.
Yes, I love this one. So this is a anthology.
I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, this is an anthology anime film. So it's
3 stories.
Yeah, in essence, it's 3 short films kind of packed into one. They exist separately. They don't really riff. There's not much that connects them. Thematically a little bit. The first story is fine. The second one is pretty good, and the third one is wonderful. And if it were its own short film, would be. Well, absolutely. I guess I can value it. It's called Love in Shanghai. Definitely one of my favourite short films.
I agree completely.
It was so resonant and so lovely.
The first part of the story is just food porn. So
yeah.
Next,
right.
Number 32, I believe, is Jacob exclusive. Skyscraper.
It's essentially all you need to know is it's The Rock with a prosthetic leg. Trying to save his family.
I really wanted to see this.
There's one scene. It was fine. Okay, that's my thing. It was fun enough. You switch your brain off. There's one scene where he's fighting a guy, and he gets his prosthetic leg kicked off, and he charges towards him, but hopping. And it's the funniest thing to see Dwayne Johnson just going it was fine. Yeah. That's all there is to say, really, not much.
Number 33, Jacob exclusive again. Go brief on this because we've talked about it. Mission Impossible Fallout.
Favourite film of the year.
Excellent.
Absolutely brilliant. I cannot stress.
Best Mission Impossible film?
Yeah, it's a
franchise that you love.
It is. one of the best films I've ever seen.
Damn.
I need to see where it is on my favourite list. I couldn't floor this film.
I get like A Quiet Place.
Yeah, it's better than A Quiet Place.
Oof.
It's definitely better than A Quiet Place.
Would you say you like A Quiet Place more?
No. I prefer this. It's my 8th favourite movie
of all time.
Yeah, I need to switch it actually because it's meant to be hard.
I'm a big fan of Mission Impossible, so I will get around to it.
I the first one didn't like very much.
I love Henry Cavill, as like literally everyone knows. I also adore Tom Cruise. They're brilliant.
Me too.
It was just brilliant. I can't say
awesome
anymore.
And you can watch episode 4 from Mission Impossible.
Best action film of all time?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Number 34, Harry and I, Cam.
Cam. Oh, yes. So this is a
Netflix exclusive.
Yeah, Netflix original about a cam girl. Her account she gets locked out of her account, logs onto it, sees that it's still being broadcasted, but it's like her. So it's
like a clone.
Yeah, it's like a psychological thriller thing.
It's about cam girls.
Ben doesn't like it very much.
I didn't think it was very good.
I liked it. The closer it got to the supernatural elements, the worse it got for me. Just her as a character and her interacting with her profession was interesting enough, and it did enough for it to be like, oh, that's a little bit fucked up. Some of the things that they're doing. It lost steam, especially in the third act.
Yeah.
But I thought generally not too bad an effort.
I like the premise of a kind of the psychological thriller around cam girls of all things, because that's like an underrepresented group in cinema.
Stephen King tweeted about this movie and likes it. So
yeah, Stephen King likes his Shining miniseries, so you can't judge Stephen King. I thought it was not very good, but not terrible per se. It wasn't no status update, of course, but
watch it if you like psychological thrillers.
Yeah. Equalizer 2, Jacob exclusive. Go.
Again, it was fine. It's just Denzel Washington cutting people's heads.
I forgot this movie came out.
I didn't even know it came out.
It's fine. Yeah, there's a bit where he has a credit card and like cut someone's head.
Oh my
It doesn't
God.
kill them, it just hurts them.
Sounds pretty epic.
The fighting's really weird in the Equalizer films. Like, it's cool, but it gets a bit boring after a while, seeing him turn on his watch and just go...
Yeah.
But then when he fought someone who was as good as fighting as he was, it was just them, like, grabbing each other, and it was really shit. It was pretty good until, like, the last half hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Cool.
Another Jacob exclusive, number 34, The Meg.
Yeah, good.
No, actually 36.
Sorry, it was good fun. Not much to say. Jason Statham riding a giant shark and stabbing its eye.
Sounds great.
Our old English teacher loves it. No. Dan the man, shout out. No, follow us. No, it was fine. It was good fun. I'm glad I saw it.
Is it just kind of dumb?
George is a poor man's Meg. No. Yeah, it's just dumb. It accepts it's dumb.
Cool. Awesome.
Maybe not. Should have done. But...
Next one I think is a me exclusive.
Yeah, you're right.
Christopher Robin. I thought this movie was wholesome as shit. Like,
I really wanted to see it actually.
it was wholesome, but it didn't really carry itself. Like, wholesomeness can only get you so far. It has the Tigger dance, which I love. What the fuck? But yeah, it was really just not spectacular that much.
That's a shame.
Yeah, next one. Another one I've seen.
Number 39.
No, not 39. The order's been fucked up with the numbers. I think it's number 37. No, 30...
Oh, yeah, the numbers are...
38 is Crazy Rich Asians, which I saw. I thought it was actually particularly good.
Okay.
I thought it was really fun. It was just a really good rom-com. The ending, I thought, costume, set-wise, it was gorgeous looking. I found it quite funny, and it made me really hungry for Chinese food.
Awesome.
Which,
Do you want to see the official poster?
You're not funny. Right, this one is a Harry and me. To all the boys I loved before.
Yep, it's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. It's quite good until kind of halfway through, and then it starts falling into the cliches.
Another Netflix exclusive, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't think it's bad. I didn't really care that much by the end, but it's okay. It's okay. Nothing terrible or nothing great.
Yeah. Next one, number 40, I believe. Jacob's favourite film of the year. Happytime Murders.
I hate that film.
Yeah.
Probably is the worst film I've ever seen. I just don't get why they made it. And it's the same guy who directed Muppet Christmas Carol, I'm pretty sure.
He's Jim Henson's kid.
Yeah. I can't say too much about this movie in brief because of how bad it is, almost. None of the jokes were funny. It's awful.
You look so pained.
It was awful. I was watching it going, why? Like, why
Did you get like physically sick?
I was like, why am I watching this? This is so bad. Like, why is this a film? And then because I saw it with a group of mates, and they all came out and they were like, well, I guess one of the jokes was funny, and like I could hear them like, trying to make it better for themselves, and I was like, I felt like I wasted my money, and I saw it for free.
You wasted your time. That's far more important.
Well, I mean, time is money!
Time is a currency.
Speaking of time, let's continue.
Yes.
The next 6 movies are ones that I've seen exclusively, so I'll kind of quick fire them.
Yeah, go for it.
Roma. Best film of the year. Fucking amazing. I loved it.
What film, I'm sorry?
Roma. Oh. Alfonso Cuarón absolutely killed it. It was a Netflix exclusive. I recommend it to everyone. It needs to take home Oscars because it was terrific. It's my film of the year for me.
It's pretty recent as well. I think it only came out a few days ago.
It came out December 14th.
Oh, okay.
Next up, First Man. Great biopic. Ryan Gosling killed it. Damien Chazelle, love him as director.
So
this is going to get nominated for like a lot of films.
So then why is Roma before?
Because it came out. awards.
Overseas. I see.
Yeah, it came out in festivals and shit. First Man is really good. Next one, Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I loved it. Second favourite film.
Another Netflix original.
Yeah, another Netflix original. Netflix killing it. Coen Brothers absolutely killed it. It's an anthology film based in the West, in the Wild West, and it's 6 stories of just Wild West goodness. My personal favourite stories were the first, 4th, and 6th. But all the stories.
There's 6 in it.
Yeah, there's 6 stories. All 6 of them are really good, and it never fails to lose steam. Absolutely terrific.
Brilliant. I will definitely watch that.
Next one, going from something good to something bad, A Star Is Born. I thought it was mediocre as shit.
Should have been a space movie about how stars are actually born.
It's the 4th version. You're not
Way
funny.
more interesting.
Yeah.
It's the 4th version of this story, but this time the only new
This
thing...
is Jeff, a star.
The only new thing they're bringing to it is Bradley Cooper mumbling for an hour and a half. Him and Lady Gaga's chemistry is terrible. Lady Gaga. That chemistry is awful.
Really?
Yeah, on a technical aspect, Bradley Cooper as director, I feel like he's got promise. But it's just, I couldn't get past their terrific chemistry. I think Lady Gaga's only good when she's singing, and the fact that people are saying this will get nominated genuinely hurts me.
I would like to see
best
it
movie?
just to...
No, I mean, people are saying Best Picture nomination. I'm like, this is mediocre as shit. Next up, The Other Side of the Wind. Again, I thought it was amazing.
Do you want context for this film?
This is an Orson Welles film, and to any cinephiles out there, Orson Welles died in the 1980s, but this was his final film that he was making, and it was re-edited and came out this year, and I thought it was a good way to send off a legendary filmmaker.
I think it's wonderful doing things like this.
Yeah, it was. Can we do the same with Kubrick's Napoleon? Yes, please. That's actually getting adapted into a HBO show by Spielberg and Vivian Kubrick.
Wow.
Yep, I'm looking forward to that. But Other Side of the Wind, very good. It's a movie made by a legendary filmmaker making a film about a movie made from a legendary filmmaker making a film. It's meta as fuck, and I love it for it. It cuts between black and white and colour, and that's just so charming about it. Next up is King of Thieves in our final of the Ben Gauntlet. King of Thieves was mediocre
chaos mode.
The best way I can describe it is it's old men talking shit to each other for 2 hours.
Charlie Cox.
Yeah, and Charlie Cox is there. It's so weird to hear what's his name? Michael Caine say the C word. I don't know why. It just
Caterpillar.
Anyway, next up, I'll let Jacob talk. Oh, him and I've seen it. The Predator.
That's alright.
Alright.
Shane Black, innit?
It was fine. I enjoyed it wasn't super fun, but it's but there was nothing about it that was awful either. It was just okay.
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, I thought that was going to be better, but not the worst Predator film.
Yeah. Ben?
Yeah.
I think again, I agree. It's just stupid. I didn't like it at all. I just thought it was dumb. It's nothing.
It's got a cool poster though.
Yeah, it's got a really cool
like the
poster.
orange, yeah.
Really cool
Yeah.
poster.
The poster's the best part about the movie.
Really cool poster.
Harry and I have seen this next one. Another Netflix exclusive. Outlaw King.
Oh yes.
What did you think?
Okay.
So this is David Mackenzie who made Hell or High Water. This is about
Robert the Bruce.
I don't want to do the
Bruce.
history. Yes, who Scottish freedom fighter,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Kind of a historical legend. For about 20 minutes, it was my favourite film of the year.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes are legendary.
Yes, and then it seriously
Legendary Pacific Rim.
and then it seriously tumbles off. Unfortunately, like Braveheart has this very kind of. I think Mark Kermode drew this comparison actually. Braveheart has this very like ridiculously cheesy, inspiring tone.
Yeah.
Outlaw King pretty much has the spectrum opposite, where everything's understated, and nothing is kind of portrayed with like ultra bravado.
Yeah.
And I think it hurts it a little bit trying to be as grounded as it possibly can. There are really great moments. The fight scenes are cool. But
Again, the opening 20 minutes, spectacular.
but unfortunately, I found it a bit of a slog.
Yeah, I
Bit of a slog.
kind of got to agree. You mentioned about the zooms. The
It
movie
keeps in crash zooms, like in Parks and Recreation. Does the Brooklyn Nine-Nine does the crash zooms on the characters for comedic effect? They do this so much in this film.
and it's
so
supposed to
bad.
be taken seriously. It's weird. I thought this film, the cast was good. I like
Chris Pine was great.
as a fan
was
of
this
Game
film?
of Thrones.
Yeah, I
It's
love
so
Chris Pine.
fulfilling to see Stephen Dillane on the throne like he should be. Stannis is the one true king.
Isn't Aaron Taylor Johnson this as well?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and
he's not terrible.
Bad. Yeah, he's not bad. He's
Uh,
okay.
49 is a me
He
exclusive.
was an actor, isn't he?
Sierra Burgess is a loser. The only losers in this film is everyone who was involved with making it, because it's so bad. I think we should continue. Another me exclusive, number 50, Halloween. I love the original Halloween. One of
was
my
a liar
favourite
on
horror
the
films of all time. This one was... I
Did
didn't
you
hate
say
it.
another me original, by the way?
Another me original. Another me exclusive.
I really wanted to see this actually.
Yeah, I did too.
Because both you and Will saw this and both said it was pretty good.
He didn't.
But no, Will.
Pointed
Oh, yeah, but both... I thought, never mind.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'd have liked to, but I missed out.
Yeah, I think...
Oh, that's another one I would like to see.
I think I didn't hate it. That's all I can say. I loved the opening of it. The music was great. I love the whole Jamie Lee Curtis versus Michael Myers thing. I thought that kind of
Cool, yeah,
rivalry thing was really good, but it didn't expand on that, and there was a lot of fluff in it. Another me exclusive, haha. Dead in a Week or Your Money Back. It was a very fun British comedy that reminded me of either the Cornetto trilogy or In Bruges, which I both love.
We talked about this episode, I think 10 in the intro. You talked about this.
Yeah, I watched it. It was just fun. It was really good. Ralph Fiennes is terrific in it. Everyone was kind of terrific. I recommend it. It didn't get a big cinematic release, obviously, because it's quite a small British comedy. But yeah,
it looked fun.
Harry exclusive for once. The Night Comes to Us, or
The Night Comes for Us.
for us. Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
so this is an Indonesian action movie in the vein of The Raid. It has some of the same cast of The Raid.
Yeah.
It's okay. it seems to be very at odds with itself. It has way too much plot, but also not enough of it to know to really make the audience care about who's hitting who.
Yeah.
There are some wonderful action sequences. If you're listening to this and quite like action films, look up on YouTube. The Night Comes.
Jacob instantly picks up his phone.
The Night Comes for Us butcher's scene. They use things very, very, very creatively. Yeah, there's a woman who kills people with a piano string. There's stuff like that.
That's me.
I was like, yeah, that's so cool. But I didn't know what was going on. I didn't care about who was hitting who. It was very, very baggy. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
way too long.
I think the main guy, or one of the main guys, is in Fast and Furious 6 or something
Right,
as
okay.
well. Sorry, I know it's a bit of an old hand on it, but you know, like you recognise.
Okay.
And he was very good actually, hand-to-hand combat wise in that.
Is that,
It might be better on a second watch, but I think check it out if you like action films. I think it would appeal to that kind of crowd.
Next up, again, I've only seen this one. Bad Times at the El Royale. I
really wanted to see this.
thought it was terrific. I thought
I did as well.
the production design and cinematography looked like it was made for me, because it's got this unique way of shooting it, and it just absolutely worked, and it was terrific. And I adored it. I thought it was one of my favourites of the year. I thought the all-star cast that it has, everyone except for Dakota Johnson, obviously, because she can't act to save her life.
Oh no.
But Chris Hemsworth was so charismatic as the psychotic villain. I would love to see him in more.
Yeah, even from the
roles like
trailer,
this.
I was really compelled by his character.
Yeah, he's great. Terrific movie. Recommend it. Next up, we've all seen this and talked about it. Venom!
Venom,
So
don't get him!
just go watch episode 7 when we talk about it as a topic, because I think we...
It's shit!
Yeah, it's really quite bad. Really quite bad.
Some of it was okay.
Yeah, next one.
Jacob likes
and
it
I-
more than that, I suppose.
Jacob and I
I'm
have
sorry.
seen this. They Shall Not Grow Old, which is a Peter Jackson documentary on World War One to celebrate 100 years of the end of World War One.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliantly well made.
Yeah.
And enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, nothing that like made me think, God, you know, I just taken it. But it was good. I'd recommend giving it a watch. You know, if you're into documentaries or not.
I like documentaries, and obviously I'm big on history and stuff, so I'd love to.
It's all interviews with veterans.
It was
sounds
it
great.
was incredible.
It's
I can't believe I
Magic
missed it.
film.
Pardon?
Like Maddie's film, like her short film.
Yeah.
In our film class. Shout out to Maddie. And it was very good. It was very much.
I thought the moment where it changes from black and white to colour, because they recolor all the old World War I footage, it blew me away. I was like, oh my god, this looks real. Obviously it's real, because it's real footage, but it took me away.
It looked like it was shot in colour.
When you see stuff in black and white, you kind of have this distance towards it, because obviously we as humans see shit as colour, unless you're colourblind. But like we have this distance towards like, this isn't real because it's not in colour, but like, bringing it into colour kind of dawned on me that this happened. Like this was a real event that millions of young men died, and it was
very horrific.
It was another one. Moving on.
What number?
I think 56.
Wow.
It's a me exclusive. The best saying. It's a French film called Nothing to Hide. Reminded me a lot of Game Night. This one.
No, it tells you apart.
it had a bunch of friends. Yeah, it was a bunch of friends. They all put their phones on the table, and they got to read out like any texts or calls that happen
at a dinner party, right?
Yeah, at a dinner party, and it's like kind of like who's cheating on who kind of thing. It was fine. It was kind of fun. There was the fat guy called Ben, which I was quite annoyed at. The fat gay guy named Ben, which was a bit like, okay, I see this movie.
In Skyscraper, the guy that The Rock hops at is called Ben.
Oh no, so. I'm getting a lot of representation in these movies. All right, next one. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah!
We talked about it as a topic, so just go watch episode 10.
Worst film of the year. Just kidding. It was fine. Nothing more, nothing less.
I really liked it.
I really
quite
liked
a bit.
it.
Yeah.
It's in my favourite films list.
Really,
it's quite low down, but
really compelling stuff for me. Personally.
Mediocre, but you guys only love it because hey, look, I remember that song from when I was young.
No,
that was a joke. Don't kill me. All right. Overlord.
I want to see that actually. Yeah.
Overlord was kind of what you see is what you get. Really fun. Yeah, Mark Kermode said it best when he said it's like a video nasty of the 1990s because it's gory, it's fun, it's Nazi zombies. Like, it's what you see is what you get, as I said. It's fun. Next up, Slaughterhouse Rulez. More like...
Is that Simon Pegg?
More like Slaughterhouse Rulez.
Yeah,
This should have been directed and written by Edgar Wright.
And Thickness.
Because, like, it's made by the guy who did Fear of Everything, which is fine, it exists, and this is a similar place of... I'd say Fear of Everything is better than this.
I was thinking, I've seen that, and I went, oh no, it's Theory of Everything.
Yeah. So this Slaughterhouse Rulez, it's Simon Pegg, Nick Frost produced and written and shit, but it really doesn't show. There's one scene where they share together, and that was my favourite scene because it made me think I was watching a better movie. Next up, I think, is a Jacob exclusive, The Grinch.
I actually saw this a couple of days ago. I know it came out, obviously, a while ago. It's one of the better Illumination films.
But that's not saying much, to be honest.
No. It was alright. It looked beautiful, I must say. But it was definitely designed for a younger audience. I don't think that helps. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's subjective. Objectively, I guess, for kids, it was a well-made movie for them.
Okay.
But for me, obviously, I thought it was fine. It was quite good fun, but they didn't establish the Grinch as a proper threat, and he was too sympathetic. Neither was he a superhuman like he is in the Jim Carrey one.
Fuck that movie.
And we know what...
Did Benedict Cumberbatch do a good job?
Kind of sounded like he was like pinching his nose the whole time, I guess. But he did, it wasn't bad, but like it could have been somebody else. Like you weren't like, oh, that's Benedict Cumberbatch doing really. Like it could have been anyone doing it. It didn't add anything.
I kind of refuse to watch this movie out of spite because I hate the Grinch, the Jim Carrey one, obviously, but also I despise Illumination in both their practices and their overall film qualities. So I definitely will not be watching this one.
Oh, there was a short film at the beginning called Yellow is the New Black about minions.
Oh, okay, that hurts.
Right,
next up is Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. I'm the only one who saw it, and it hurt so badly. This movie was dreadful. Worst film in the Harry Potter franchise. It is the definition of shitty action film because it's loud, it's annoying, it makes no sense, and it's nothing. It's like... I don't even see Harry Potter fans liking it, because I myself...
It's the Harry Potter Star Wars prequel?
Yeah, it feels like a Star Wars prequel. Yeah. J.K. Rowling's gone full George Lucas at this point. Jacob, you're up next. Stop looking at your phone. Creed 2.
I thought it was really great. Probably my fourth favourite movie of the year, maybe. I preferred it to Bohemian Rhapsody, which is saying a lot, because everyone knows I like that.
Keep going.
It was good fun. The action was really well done. They excelled. Well, so like I think the story in the first Creed was better, but the fighting and like training sequences were better, and that is kind of what Creed is all about.
Yeah.
The opponent I was actually rooting for.
Isn't it
just purely because
Dolph Lundgren's
son?
kid?
Yeah. I was actually rooting for him really. And he was huge. Like,
he was built.
It was really awesome actually.
Brilliant.
And they did it. They made it like very violent and for like a 12, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like he's peeing because
PG-13
he's had like his kidneys ruptured and he's peeing like blood's coming out and stuff.
Wow.
And you're like, oh, but it was like it's made a lot of people cry because it's quite an emotional film, and it helps if you've seen Rocky 4.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the one where.
Because it's Adonis Creed is fighting Dolph Lundgren's son, and Dolph Lundgren
is the villain of
killed Adonis Creed's dad in Rocky 4, which is also good.
And so next up is a me exclusive. I love that term. Mowgli, Netflix exclusive. It's horrifically violent.
Directed by Andy Serkis.
Which
I wanted
kind
to
of disappointing because
maybe.
I like Andy Serkis and I like The Jungle Book, at least the original. Wasn't too chuffed on the remake. This one didn't have King Louie in it, so I hated it. No, that's kind of a bad way to say it. But there were elements of this that I liked, but I couldn't get past the horrific design of the animals. They looked like people with animals with human faces. It was so offsetting, like off-putting. And this film was also just like, there were elements of it that I really wanted to expand on. Like there was the point where Mowgli goes into the human villages and spends time there, and I was like, this is interesting, this is new, this is different. But I just couldn't get past the really like cheapness. It looked cheap, and it feels cheap.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. The penultimate film of our little soiree is one of my favourites of the year. Probably my favourite of the year. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Why is it penultimate?
Harry, I rewatched it last night, and Harry, because he saw it for the first time last night. Jacob, you saw it a week ago or something?
I saw it, just over a week ago. Shall I go first?
Yeah, you start.
Or, because I think I liked it the least. Which does not mean I didn't enjoy it, because I enjoyed it a lot, and I thought it was really great fun. I've said that so much. I think that the animation was really, really stunning and really, really beautiful. All of the visuals were incredibly done, and it did look like a comic. However, I think that there were some story beats that they did skip very quickly and that they missed out. It just didn't all do it for me.
That's totally, that's fair.
I think, I prefer Peter Parker as a character, and although it did make me like Miles Morales a bit more, not that much more. He had the whole race thing, where at the end he's just suddenly like, I'm good at all of this. I think what didn't help is that because it had been hyped up so much,
you kind of came in with high expectations.
And everyone's like, this is the best Spider-Man film ever, or the best comic book film ever, and you're going in like, right, geez, you know.
I'm expecting the Dark Knight here.
Yeah, and it wasn't that for me.
Yeah,
okay. but still very good. Still very good.
Yeah, I think it's the second best Spider-Man after Spider-Man 2. Ben will testament to this. I thought it was wonderful. I pretty much grinned through all.
Yeah,
of it.
Harry. There were points when I was watching it with Harry, and I was focusing more on his reaction, and he was just really like, oh my god, I love this film so much.
There were several occasions where I sort of leaned forward in my seat and sort of tense my arms, like, yes!
I could just, hear him and see him, and I was just so happy. Not just for you, because you loved it. More than I did, almost. And I love this film. It's favourite film of the year, in my top 30 favourite films of all time, kind of thing. Continue, sorry. I'm really happy that you enjoyed it, because I knew, when I first watched it, I knew you would love it.
I do have some criticisms. I think some of the story beats, I agree with Jacob, did sort of just feel inconsequential and unnecessary, and parts of the film ranged from 6 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. It was a little bit inconsistent for me, but the writing and the general it's a really, really funny film. Really funny.
Yeah.
And the team dynamic when all the spider people finally join was I'm just like,
Penny Parker is adorable, and Spider-Man Noir is hot.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir was excellent. I think Jake Johnson as sort of curmudgeon-y old Peter Parker is one of my favourite voiceover performances of all time. I think
he was also
excellent.
What I thought they did well with that Spider-Man
Hobo Peter Parker,
even though he's really down his luck and just a bit like moody and stuff. Like they didn't make him useless. Like he was so good at being Spider-Man
because he'd been doing it for 22
like he
years.
didn't really need to try.
John Mulaney as Peter Porker. I loved it. I thought no, his voice, like, he worked for the cartoonish character.
It does get weirder.
Yeah, I think there was such good casting because he has that cartoonish voice. And that was
his stand-up's really good. I think you like it. The film really understands Spider-Man as well. Like instantly when it says at the beginning of the film when he's like, I saved the city over and over, and no matter how many times I get hit, I just get back up. I'm like, yes!
Spider-Man shape.
Also, there's one line in the film, and it's a really inconsequential line. I think they meant much by it, but when they ask Miles what dimension he's from, and he says Brooklyn.
Yeah, you compared it to the "I'm not from Krypton, I'm from Kansas."
Yeah, moment to Spider-Man, where it's like this is bigger than all of them. This is I don't know.
I think
I loved how it did Spider-Man.
I think it's the best looking film, period. Best animated film since the Lego Movie. Coincidentally, both it's another Lord and Miller project, but I loved it. I thought it was just so. Again, it understands Spider-Man so well, but it also just had so much fun with its concept and idea, and it had all that weird, wacky comic book weirdness.
And we should say again, the visuals are exceptional.
They are
so inventive,
fucking brilliant.
And I did have my gripes, but I generally, I think overall, I would say I liked it a lot.
Loved it.
I would think I'd need to see it again. But, pretty positive.
Upon rewatching it, I didn't love it more, but I didn't dislike it at all. So it was kind of, it stayed the same for me, and I absolutely adored this film. And I
think you definitely like it the most. I think that's what's
I'm baffled by how good it is. And there's so much more I can say. Kingpin.
We'll do it.
He's a billboard. We should really. It's so good. Watch it.
Final film.
Oh dear.
The point of contention. Here we go.
The one with Fishman.
Aquaman.
We saw this last night, Harry and I.
We did.
I saw it a week ago as well, already.
Yeah.
So,
Jacob, I've seen it twice actually.
Jacob, you like it, so I think you should talk on it first.
I saw it twice. I enjoyed it. I kind of just sat there and just took it all in and thought this is pretty good. It was kind of like a mindless movie about a guy who's kind of getting beaten up or beating things up, and I didn't mind that, to be honest. All of the designs are very comic accurate, and I thought that most of them were really well done. A lot of it was shot underwater, which I really respected and thought was really cool. Some of the ideas and some of the concepts that they had, I thought were really fun. Like that bit where like they're fighting like the air bubble, and they like kick one of like the soldiers out into the ocean, and he like goes really fast. He like slows down when he goes into the water. I thought that was really cool. And even some of like just like the stupid shit when it's like pros and cons for like Aquaman and Ocean Master. That's just funny.
I did like the octopus playing the drum. That brought a smile to my face. That was it.
This does bring a smile. I thought it was good. Low 7.
Okay.
Aquaman is actually one of my favourite heroes. Not from the movies so much, but from the comics. I like him a lot.
Neither Ben nor me were very keen on this. Ben hated it more than I did, but I will give my verdict. I thought it was baggy. I thought it just kept throwing shit at you without giving you much of a reason to care. Everything felt very rushed. There was so like an endless amount of points in the film where I thought I don't know what's happening now. There is an action scene that takes place in Italy that I loved. There's an action scene right at the end which I liked as well. And consistently, I think the designs of things, so the Atlantean armor and Ocean Master, I think all look really cool.
Black Manta as well.
But for the most part, I think it is a total mess. Unfortunately,
sad times.
I fucking hated this.
Here we go.
No.
No, I'm joking.
This is not my most hated film, not even in the DCEU, because Suicide Squad exists, but this is the first time in a long time that I've walked out of the cinema just thinking, I hated this.
You looked very angry.
I was pissed off.
During the film.
Because there is two things that I can like. There's this one shot taking place at the beginning, where there's like an action scene, and Aquaman's mum's doing all this flips and shit in a house, and it's all done in one shot, and that worked because of the restricted area they were going with. And the octopus playing the drums. Those were the two things that I liked in this film. Everything else was fucking stupid. And it was like, it's not fun stupid. It got to the point where it tired me out. It was just baffling.
I found it quite tiring, actually.
It should baffle me. I think it should baffle me how bad it is. But, like, I've given up on the DCU at this place. This franchise is dead in the fucking water. Pun intended.
It's still got
like
5 films.
Shazam is unfortunately likely going to suck.
It's got Shazam, Joker, Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 84 is going to be mediocre. And Man of Steel 2, the Batman, Flashpoint, Justice League 2, they are never going to happen. This franchise is fucking dead in the water. Just leave it, wait 8 years, reboot it.
A jump 8 years.
What I mean,
that would be a jump if we went on.
I'm genuinely pissed off. This has killed the DCU for me. Like,
but not for a lot of people though.
Yeah, I just...
What needs to be done now...
Unbridled rage here.
What needs to be done now, in my eyes, is... despite Aquaman's quality, at least it is a standalone effort, and at least there is a vision. I felt like James Wan, and I felt like everyone involved did care. I felt they tried.
For me,
I don't care if they keep making films that are fairly like this because I enjoyed it.
I think now that they're called Worlds of DC, I think they should just focus on standalone stuff. So a Shazam movie and a Joker, which we hear is outside, doesn't really matter, but just make standalone films with your characters that are all kind of different. Like Aquaman's a big cheeseball movie, make Joker that's kind of a sort of a kind of fun little
study
period piece that's kind of dark too. I just think that's the way forward now. I'm not sure anyone is too cut up about not seeing Justice League 2.
I think at this,
I don't know.
I'd like to
I see it. I see it on the same level as Venom for me. I hated it. I really hated
Venom was soulless. Aquaman felt like people cared.
But then again, I felt like Venom at least was funny. Like. At the end of I wrote at the end of Aquaman, I wrote something along the line, the fact that this is in the better half of the DCU just kind of conclusively proves I fucking hate this franchise. Like,
it was in the latter half for me, I didn't like that.
I think in order of ranking, Wonder Woman's the best, then it's Man of Steel, then this. And this franchise is so dead for me. And I don't hate DC, I love DC characters, like, I've read comics, I fucking love Injustice as a game franchise. The fact that this franchise has happened... It hurts, and like I'm a bit more into Marvel. I will accept that. I'm more of a Marvel fan than DC, but I don't hate DC, and it
doesn't kill you.
Hurts.
It's a shame. I really hope that Shazam is a focused and fun effort.
This film has kind of killed my hopes for Shazam. I'm so worried for that film at this rate, and I'm scared. I'm scared for Shazam, and I think that's all the films for this year.
2018.
2018. What a film!
Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. By the way,
we would have gone into the films we're excited for, but we're running out of time. So I think we'll probably do that next episode. Films we're excited for next year.
Yeah, I think
we could do more on that. We could make it a whole topic almost.
I mean, if you want to just go around and just say most of that,
we could just
we'll do that, but then we'll go into more depth next episode.
Well, yeah, I meant now. We could just go.
What are you excited for next year?
Just choose 2 each.
Well, I know that you choose Godzilla, probably won't you?
Godzilla and the new Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, for me.
Okay.
Those are my 2 big ones.
Very briefly, why?
It's a Tarantino film, and it's cast. The cast is amazing, and the concept is great. Godzilla, it's a Godzilla movie, and they're focusing more on the monsters.
It does look very cool.
And Mothra's in it, and I fucking love Mothra.
I know Jacob's very excited for Godzilla too.
I am, yeah. But if I have to pick 2 different ones, I'll go, Avengers 4 is probably my most anticipated movie ever.
Avengers Endgame.
That's right.
I don't like that title.
Avengers Endgame and Glass, which I'm really, really excited for.
I'm looking forward to Glass as well. Huge fan of Unbreakable. So. My 2 would be... I tried to choose between Shazam and Joker. I'm not a huge...
Tied.
No. I know. I'm not a huge superhero guy, but I think what those 2 movies say about the state of DC movies is very interesting, especially Joker moving towards a sort of a very distinctly standalone thing.
I don't even think Joker's canon to the DCU.
Well, exactly.
DC now.
And secondly, I'm very much looking forward to Detective Peak.
Yes!
I know,
Harry and I are
know
big Pokemon fans.
I know there's resistance to that. I'm an enormous Pokemon fan.
Both of us are,
and I know it doesn't look great, but I don't think I'm just really excited to see it happen. And if it sucks, then
that would be a shame.
But
that would be such a shame.
I'm really it might suck. I was saying this to Ben, it might suck, but imagine if it's kind of good. Just imagine that possible. I don't know, and it looks fine. I think. Looks quite sweet. Apart from Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu, I'm still struggling to get past.
I just want to see Sceptile in live action because it's my favourite Pokemon.
Although photorealistic Charizard looks a little weird.
It looks fucking cool. I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, next year looks optimistic. We've got some good films coming out.
I'm very excited for next year, actually.
Yeah. New Scorsese film coming to Netflix.
Irishman.
Henry Cavill.
Also, Men in Black International as a spin-off. Looks
Otherwise
kind of
known as
fun.
Men in Black Ragnarok.
Hellboy looks dreadful.
Anyway, have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
everyone.
Merry Christmas to all them people. Don't watch The Grinch. Watch a good Christmas movie.
I think this will go out after Christmas, 2 days after Christmas.
Well, watch Die Hard instead. Much more.
Oh yeah, I hope you're having.
Yeah,
a good
you've
Christmas.
you've had a great
There you
Christmas.
go.
Hope you got what
And
you wanted.
having-
Hope you had a good old
Have a great
Christmas
New Year
lunch
as
and
well.
a happy New Year. All that shit, you know.
Yeah.
What it be, what it do.
Thank you for staying with us for this year.
Thank you very much.
Here's to another wonderful year, gentlemen. Let's clink our invisible glasses.
I've got a glass.
Yeah, no, fuck you.
Stop it.
Do you want to just knock the... Yeah.
There you go. Clink! Yeah, there you go.
Excellent.
Here's to 2019.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Goodbye, everyone.
Say clap! Ow!
See you next year.